Hello?
Hi.
All right, I just want to be sure my speaker is working.
Okay.
All right, good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to class.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, Femi. All right. All right, so I'm gonna let you see me during the introductory class. And then if you feel like you can let us see you and meet you and then just do the access. All right, so my name is Akin Aragbeshola. I'm sure that I've spoken with some of you while you were making inquiries. Welcome to class today. All right, so who do we have? Olatunji Kingsley, Lara DG. And then the two people on video, I don't see your names. Okay, Ayeni Adewale and Ben Obi. Welcome to class, everyone.
Thank you.
So today is meant to be overview. I'm sure that many of you have questions, areas that you want clarity on, questions here and there, just to get you as comfortable as possible before we even start the journey at all. All right, and when we do start the journey, we'll be looking at Windows Server Administration, all right, as our first course. And then after Windows, I'll take you through the overview of what we should cover in the next 4 months, thereabouts, so that at the end of the day, you turn out a cloud engineer. Again, cloud engineer is a bogus phrase. And then I'll be able to tell you specifically what area of cloud engineering we'll be focusing on and training you to become. All right? So in the first 1 hour, I'll be taking all kinds of questions, like I said, with a view to helping you settle down and helping you calm down enough to look forward to a beautiful course and a beautiful training session with us. All right. In the time being, let me just do an overview of this whole training and of IT as much as possible. Remembering, I always bear in mind that many of you are coming from non-IT background. So I promised, And I'm going to keep to that. We're going to keep to that promise that will start from the very, very basics. All right. It's very important for us to understand the concept of IT. It's not just about how to do. Yes, of course, we'll learn how to do, but we want to understand the reason behind the doing. That's the concept. All right. So it is not to memorize what to do when situations occur, but to reason along the path of that situation. And okay, this must have happened because this happened. If that is the case, then let me check here. Okay, that is the concept that I talk about, and that's the approach, our approach to training. All right. So bearing that in mind, we would always, because we're a team of trainers, not just me, would always take things from scratch, helping you to understand the basics before we go into the practicals. And to do that, in this case, I'm going to go to the whiteboard. I'll come here and I'll say whiteboard so I can draw stuff and help you understand. All right. This is not the training proper. This is an overview. So feel free to stop me at any time. You'll not be disturbing anybody. It's important that you get these concepts right from the beginning, so that by the time we are building on this concept, we are confident that we are carrying everybody along. So feel free to stop me anytime to ask questions, even as I'm talking. All right, so just make sure that you are coming along. All right, so I'll do a brief overview and then I'll come back to ask you questions and get to know you in such a way as to help me just learn whatever it is about you that will help me better attune the course to fit your own need, even though I already assume that everyone is a novice. All right. So when we talk about IT, the fundamental thing we're talking about anytime we refer to IT is network, even though that is silent, even though we don't mention it. We're talking about network. And what do we mean by network? Network basically means that we have one system here, and then we have another system there. These days, they could actually be devices, could be mobile phone, could be all kinds of devices, especially in this era of Internet of Things. Well, for now, when we talk about devices, let's just limit them to computers. So that's why I'm representing them like this. We have one computer there, even though it could be a refrigerator, it could be a car, it could be a phone, or let's just say computers. When you have these computers like that, and you have them all connected together, interconnected like that, through some central device like that. This is what we call network, computer network. So these three will form a network of three computers. All right, so IT is fundamentally about networking. A network of 2, 3, 4, 300, 700, 5 billion, 7 billion, 1 trillion computers around the globe. This is what we have in mind anytime we talk about IT. Therefore, we're going to start to learn IT from building and understanding simple networks. Simple networks, the basic kind of networks, the most basic kind of networks ever. Those kind of networks we will normally refer to as corporate network. I will explain what I mean by corporate network. All right, so back to this concept of networking. So this is a computer. So we have computer 1, we have computer 2, we have computer 3. All right, and then you run cables, data cable from this computer to a central device, usually a switch. And then you run another cable from the interface of this computer to one port of a switch. Should have brought a switch. Don't worry, we'll show you a switch. And then you run from that port to this port of the computer So this central device is a switch, and this is a cable, a data cable. When you have this kind of networking within a small geographical area, maybe within a room, maybe even within the building, all right? This small kind of network is called local area network. Local area network. Now, this local area network could be such that the operating system, the Windows operating system running here is maybe Windows 10, and then this one is Windows 10, and then that one is Windows 10. When you have a local area network where all the computers are running the same kind of client operating systems, all of them, I mean, they are all client operating systems. They don't necessarily all have to be Windows 10, but they are all client operating systems. You call that kind of local area network peer-to-peer network. So when you have local area network, it could either be peer-to-peer network or a different kind of network. So peer-to-peer, we have a note for you on this. Peer-to-peer is when all computers run the client version of the operating system. There is another kind of operating system that is not the client version. That other version of the operating system is called the server version. So just in case you have not heard these words before, when I say client, what I mean is this client. And when I say server, what I mean is this. Client operating system would be client OS, would be something like what you are using on your laptop currently. All right, the most common would be Windows Server. I mean, Windows 10. Windows 10. And then there is another kind of Windows operating system that is server, not client. And that one would normally be Windows anything. For example, Windows 2016 or 2019, normally they come like that. And then you have this word following it, server. It always comes with the word server. So it could be Windows 2005, Windows 2017, Windows 2000. It would always come with server, right? So that's how you know it's server operating system. So when one, for example, this server, this system 3, when one of these systems is running a server operating system like Windows 2016 server. So let me say server OS. And then the rest are still running your client OS. Then we have a different kind of network. The first kind of network where they were all running the same kind of operating system, client version, we call peer-to-peer network. But this other type, where at least one of them is running a server operating system, is called a different name. This one is called a client server network. All right. So first of all, we had peer-to-peer network, or specifically LAN, and then client server network. Client server, sometimes you have that name. All right. Network. All right. So when you have a network set up in your home, like some of you may already have, such that from one room you can print to the server, all the computers in the different rooms can connect to a single device like your internet modem. Therefore, you can all share internet. All of that kind of connection would fall under peer-to-peer. This is not the same kind of network that a corporate organization like bank would use. The difference is this peer-to-peer network is not secure, but this client server network is secure. So the difference is security. So for client-server network, because of the involvement of this server operating system, there is security. But for peer-to-peer network, there is no security. All right? Let me recap all of that in case I'm too fast for somebody. The reason we are looking at networking right now is because everything we'll be learning in IT is built around networking. Networking is the fundamental. Whether you are going to be running your database, whether you are going to cloud to set up your infrastructure, whether you are going to run an application like Uber or like Dropbox, all of that, the foundation on which you put all of these services is networking. So we need to have at least a basic understanding of what networks are and how they operate. So that is the reason we are starting from the very basics as it relates to networking. And when we're talking about this smallest kind of networking for IT, I'm not talking about Bluetooth and infrared kind of, I'm talking about IT networks where you are doing serious business. The simplest form would be the type of networks we generally call LAN, which means local area network. All right? Local area network are of two types. One will be a local area network where everybody is they are just mate to mate, colleague to colleague, peer to peer. Nobody is superior, everybody is equal. All right? In that case, there is no manager, no supervisor, no superior person to determine and let's leave it at determine now, who comes into the network and who goes out of the network. In other words, every Tom, Dick, and Harry can just come into the network to share network resources. That kind of network is called peer-to-peer. All right? But when you introduce a server operating system to at least one of the computers forming your local area network, that server operating system is a higher hierarchy, it's on a higher level than the peer-to-peer. So now you have a manager, you have a supervisor, you have an operating system that is bigger than the rest. So this bigger operating system, the server operating system, would govern the entire network as the boss and introduce security. So it is now the responsibility of that server operating system, if you configure it, to check who comes in, who goes out. When you do come in as a user, what resources within this network do you have resources to, as has been assigned to you by the network administrator, which you are going to be at the end of this Windows class, all right? So you see the concept of security now, that there is now check. Something is now checking who does what, who goes where, and everything you do is like monitored, that's the word, all right? So when you have that, then we'll no longer call that kind of network a peer-to-peer network. We now call that kind of network a client-server network. So two operating system, client-server. And then what did I say the difference is? Chiefly, mainly between a peer-to-peer network and a client-server network. The server on a client-server network introduces security. So the difference is security. So peer-to-peer network will be used in homes and areas where you don't really need security. Whereas client-server network will be used in corporate organizations. And that is why it is called corporate network, corporate networks. All right, corporate networks. All right. So if you understand that, from now on, I'm no longer going to I may not refer to this network as, or maybe I will most of the time. But anytime I say corporate network, you understand that I'm talking about client-server network. So whether I call it corporate network or I call it client-server network, I'm talking about the same thing. And for this, what I call it your home network or peer-to-peer network, I'm talking about the same. Okay, let's move from there. Let's go a bit further. Now, when you have a local area network like we have here, anytime already, I'm just careful here. I don't want to ask you questions yet. Just keep open. So I call this one a switch earlier on. Write it down because I'm going to ask you. This central device, what is it called? And I call this cable. But it's also possible, though, to have this kind of network where you do have computers, just like we have up there. So first computer, second computer, third computer. But this time, instead of using cables to connect them, you are now using wireless. You are using in the atmosphere, there are waves, even though they are not visible. You cannot see them. Just like you cannot see the content of your white light coming from the sun. You only feel it and you see, okay. So there are waves within there in the atmosphere. And there are different kinds of waves, different, the waves are distinguished from one from the other by their frequencies, how fast, all right? So one of the many waves available in the atmosphere that is just there is the one that is used for carrying this kind of signal, Wi-Fi, all right? So we are going to have that instead of laying cable, we could have situations where we just use the Wi-Fi signal already in the atmosphere. You don't have to manufacture it, just there, naturally, God-given. So to distinguish between cable and Wi-Fi, I'm going to use that sign. Sorry. So it's just a sign like this. Like a lightning sound. Yeah, something like that. Something like this. Something like this. So it is also possible to use your Wi-Fi or your RF signal actually to connect devices together. When this happens, we call this central device our access point. And then these are no longer cables. All right, this is just RF. All right, so RF generally means the concept of not using cables and doing it wirelessly. Just doing it because the carrier, the wave that you carry the signal from one point to another to the other computer for you is already in the air. All right. So as IT people, you should know that you have the option of setting up your local area network wirelessly if you wish. All right. That's just by the wayside. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you how many, it is possible to set up a wired network using cables and switch. What other way is it? By what other way can you also set up a local area network? So it will be by wireless, where the switch will be replaced by access. So now, now that we have this, we have local area network here, we have local area network here. When we have many local area networks working together, all right, then maybe this is one corporate network one, your branch office, corporate network two, your another branch office, corporate network three, maybe your head office. All of these corporate networks interconnected together, all right? So let me draw another corporate network there. Let me draw another one there. So you have another corporate network here. So you now have these three interconnected together. All right, so how do we interconnect them now? Let's say this one is interconnected, this one is interconnected. So it's not going to be a switch here because it's actually like open air. This is one building in one part of US, this is another building, another part of US, this is another building in California also. So to network the three of them together so that from your head office, you can communicate with systems here and with systems there. There are many ways to do it, but for now, let's just simplify it. Let's say you connect all of them to the internet, and through the internet, you can route packets. to that or to here. All right. So when you do have a situation like this, where we are not talking about just one local area network, we are not talking about multiple local area networks working together, then we refer to this, all of them together, as an enterprise network. All right. So all of this together now will form your enterprise network. All right. So in order to be able to set up and administer your corporate network, that is your client server network, we are going to learn Windows Server administration, how to set up, how to install, how to configure, and how to use that operating system, Windows Server operating system, to administer, okay, to manage, manage, to set up user accounts for all staff of the company, to give them different levels of permission. Oh, you, once it's 5 o'clock, you must be logged off. You, anybody logging in with this account as the manager should have access to everything. No, you define different levels of permission. Somebody forgets his password, you are the person to call as the administrator. Oh, I forgot my password, you reset password. Somebody needs to be logged out, somebody needs to be sacked, so that you should be the first person to know, so that you disable the account, so that the minute he's sacked, he's no longer able to come back. And so all of that you will learn and be able to actually set up one using Windows Server Administration. So that is the first course you will learn starting today. After you are familiar, after you now have complete control, you do understand everything, well, as far as network administration is concerned, for corporate networks, then the next thing to do is to be able to manage this network together with this network, together with this network. Is that not enterprise? Yeah, that's enterprise. To be able to manage an enterprise network beyond just managing a corporate network, you need to learn another kind of operating system. Bigger, more reliable, more dependable, faster, and more secured than Windows Server that you learned for corporate network. So the new operating system that you will learn to say, yes, I can manage a whole enterprise, not just a tiny corporate network. That operating system is Linux operating system. So that's why I call it Linux operating system. For what's Linux used for? For managing enterprise networks. You want to compare that with Windows? What's Windows used for? Windows. That's for managing corporate networks. All right. So you see the place of corporate network, the place of enterprise networks. Now, beyond enterprise network, you are going to do a third course. That course is called cloud. Now, what we are talking about, what we've talked about so far, could be within your premise, within a physical building. That is called on-prem or on-premise. It could be a physical computers within physical buildings with cables, and then you have your server room, all the cables are connected. Okay, it could be that, though it's not likely because of the direction the world is heading in terms of flexibility. But it could be that. That is called traditional network. That's where we are coming from. Or it could be the more modern atmosphere where all of this is no longer physical. They are now deployed virtually. Using the concept of virtualization. Yeah, although we'll explain this in detail, but since I've mentioned it, let me just quickly explain that now. So this whole idea of I have one computer, two computers, three computers. In virtualization, these computers will not be going to the market to buy physical computers. No. These computers will be virtual computers that you are going to set up within your own laptop. So using the concept of virtualization, you are going to generate many computers out of a single computer. Whereas that's your physical computer from which you are generating these imaginary or virtual computers will be called the hosts. And then the virtual computers called virtual machines that you are generating from them, and they will act independently. They are real machines. All right, they are real. They will be called the virtual machines or the guests. Now, back to my point. It gets to a point where everything we have described now relating to your corporate network and your enterprise, what you want to do now, or what companies do now, is you take all of this and take them to cloud and set them up virtually in cloud. So it's no longer enough to be able to travel to your office, set up and manage your corporate networks. It's no longer enough to be able to connect with your New York office, your California office, your Dallas office, and manage all the resources from a single server here. Running what? What will this server run? This server is going to run a Linux operating system. It's no longer enough. What is more in vogue now, what's in demand now, is to be able to take all of this concept to cloud, set it up in cloud, and manage this infrastructure in cloud. All right. So for that reason, you are going to learn cloud solutions architecting. What does that mean? It means that you are able to go into cloud and bring up servers, bring up cables, bring up switches, bring up routers, and put all of this together to form a network, just like you did with your own virtual environment. And then you'll be able to put, what's the whole idea? Why are you setting up network? So that you are now able to run your applications, which you are providing as a solution to the world to solve a problem. All right? I mean, all kinds of problems. And that's what you call the gig economy. All these applications coming up, this one will solve delivery problems, so people don't have to go out, can order food. You work for Spectrum, like I used to do. In the morning, all of your jobs are assigned to you on an app. You work you are an Uber driver, you are a doctor, all kinds of works. Everything now has one form of, including telemedicine, one form of application or the other, designed to solve that problem. So they are all loaded on this network that you, as the cloud architect means server builder, somebody who builds servers in cloud and make those servers available for applications to be loaded into. All right, so you need to be able to go all the way to cloud to deploy this. And that is where we are going to learn AWS. And then finally, after AWS, the last course we will learn is called DevOps. And the DevOps there is on top of your cloud knowledge. And it simply means, haven't learned how to do these things in cloud, there should be a way for you to automate these doings, so that it's not every time you need to spin up server that you log on to cloud, and then takes you another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 hours to set up server. No. It should be such that everything is already arranged, such that by the click of a button or by the entry of a command, everything will just repeat itself and everything will be done that you should have spent 3 hours, 4 hours, or even the whole day accomplishing. So this idea of being able to automate your infrastructure setup, your application running in cloud, is what you will learn in DevOps, right? So this is the overview of the 4 courses that you'll be learning, but starting with Windows server administration. All right, so I'm going to take a break, find out how much of that you have understood. And if there's something you don't understand, I make sure we go over and understand that concept. And then we can now start with the concept of virtualization, what is cloud, what is data center, and then we just proceed from there. All right. But this as a preamble, let's find out how many people have understood that so far. All right. But before I ask you questions, you ask questions first. What is it that you do not understand from what I've just said, the overview that I just gave? All right, so I need you to talk now. There are how many people here? 11 people, so don't just, yes, Lara, yeah.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I don't understand the cloud solution architect. I need you to run over the cloud solution architect. I don't really understand it.
Okay, it's just a title. Cloud solution architect is a title. So cloud solution architects. So what that means is when there is a problem in the real world, for example, I want people to be able to have meetings without having to drive to to one another and then set up a physical meeting. So I came up with this solution called Zoom. Zoom is a solution. So cloud solution architect is a name by AWS. It's a title by AWS. It means the person who goes into cloud and set up the cloud infrastructure, the network infrastructure that Zoom needs, Zoom as an application needs to be able to put their Zoom application there and make it available to the world so that the world can now use the application Zoom.
Okay.
So the person who goes into cloud to see all the facilities in cloud, and then he was able to take this, take that, and build, architect a server environment. And then let Zoom application developers, I have set up the server. You go ahead and put your database and put whatever you need to put. That person is the cloud solution.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, if you're raising your hand, I can't. Oh, yeah. Okay, Gabriel.
Thank you, Mr. Akin, for your time and putting this class together. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I see the way the course was broken down, which, okay, I'm privileged to be working as a network security engineer, but I was more interested in the cloud aspect. So I see the course curriculum. So I wanted to know how it's going to be. Is it like you're teaching us Windows Server administration, or I see you mentioned it's going to be everything. Is it after this class we can function in every sector we choose to do or whatever? Just want to have an idea about that. Or for you to be a DevOps engineer, you have to go through, have server knowledge, Linux. I just wanted to have an idea.
Okay. All right, Gabriel. So if you are coming fresh into IT,
okay,
and you go straight into cloud, and even if you do cloud and you understand cloud, you will not be able to function as an IT person.
Right, that's
so there
true.
must be something that you are taking into cloud to say, I'm a database administrator already. Now
Right.
I'm going to learn to do my database administration in cloud.
Right.
I'm an SAP professional already. I'm going to learn to do what I'm already doing as an SAP person in cloud. I'm a network expert already. I'm going to learn how to set up network in cloud and support my. So there must be something that you already know. So make from this training what you'll be taking into cloud to say, I'm already good at this. It's just that I want to know to do it in cloud as well. Is network administration. Network administration for corporate networks, more importantly, and the real IT, network administration for enterprise networks.
Okay.
So once you know these two, by the time you get into cloud, you are now, I mean, whether you are coming from 15 years experience, 8
Okay.
years background, 7 years background, you are now also able to support your IT team in cloud like you have been doing in on-premise and other environments in the past 15 years.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are new to IT and you have nothing to go and do in cloud, then start with Windows, understand corporate network administration, then move on to Linux, which is the real IT. IT without Linux is not IT. And then with that foundation, with these two, by the time you go into cloud, you can now say, I am SysOp, I'm a cloud solutions architect. And by the time you get to cloud, you see that cloud is not just a matter of setting up servers. It's also a matter of being able to go into the server to configure the server.
Right.
So how do you configure server when you don't know Linux commands?
Right.
How do you convert a server to a web server? How do you create a DNS server? How do you create an NFS server? How do you create all of these services if you do not know Linux?
Linux. Okay.
So
Thank
if
you
you
very much.
if you are new to IT, yeah, that's where to go. However, if you are coming from, oh, I already know Linux, I've been doing Linux for 7 years, in that case, you already have something.
I don't know Linux.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking generally.
Yeah.
So that person would just say, you know what, I know what I'm looking for. Just take me straight to cloud and then show me. Yeah, I've had somebody who paid just for 2 hours training, $500 for 2 hours training. He already knows what he wants. Just take me to cloud, show me how to set up this thing so I can deploy what I already know. And in 2 hours, it was done. So if you are that kind of person, you may want to selectively choose what you do. In that case, maybe cloud or maybe even DevOps. I also have people who are already DevOps engineers and they say, you know what, I know cloud. I use cloud on a daily basis. Yeah, I do a bit of DevOps, but I really want to get a very clear picture of what DevOps is. In that case, I want just DevOps. Yes. So there are people like that.
Okay, so in my own aspect now, what would you advise me? Because I need help on cloud and I also need help in Linux. So what would you?
I already advised you now. I already advised you. So I've painted the picture from, depending on where you are coming from,
Okay.
you can fit into anywhere. So where are you coming from without me taking another 15 minutes to interview you? So if you feel that you already have Windows background, then you can jump Windows and go straight to Linux. If you feel that you already have Linux background, you can jump both of them and go to cloud. But if you do not have Windows and you pretend that you have Windows, it's going to be, it might be difficult for you out there because, okay, let's go back to this guy.
Okay, I have a.
No, you don't have to answer. I'm just giving.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm just giving you an overview. Now let's come back to this diagram. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember.
Now this is corporate network. The whole of the networks working together is enterprise. And then when you take this into cloud, you will definitely find situations will arise where you need to support people working in this environment.
Right, sure. Troubleshooting issues sometimes happens like
troubleshooting. Even in cloud, you need to support on-premise.
Right.
Yeah, cloud is not always 100% cloud. It's usually a hybrid of on-premise and cloud network together. So if you do not know Windows, then how do you support your Bank of America corporate network, even though you're operating from cloud? So if they bring anything Linux, you know, that one, no problem. Then they call you from Bank of America as support or something, you cannot do it because you do not even understand this networking from the perspective of the user, of the customer, of the end user. So it's difficult for you. But if you understand it from that point, through corporate, through then it becomes really easy. So I've had people coming like this, and then they were meant to go here, and they was, oh, okay, yeah, oh, thank God I did that course. It makes so much sense.
Right.
Because it just helps them understand, okay, even the things they thought they knew where this was happening, oh, this was trying to do.
All right, makes sense. Thank you for that well detail. So I'm sorry, one more last question. if I know the WhatsApp group had a lot of messages, I just went straight to the link. I think this is going to take us about a duration of 4 months. Am I correct?
Yeah, there are 4 courses, like I already explained. Each course will take 1 month.
1 month.
So
Okay.
Windows Server Operating System is $600 and will
Okay.
last for 1 month.
Okay.
After that, we'll move on to Linux. Linux is 1 month course. At the end of 1 month, you should be good with Linux.
Okay.
And then that's another one. Then after that, we'll move to AWS Cloud. And that cloud will be so thorough that we expect you to write and pass the AWS Solutions Architect Associate Level exam.
Okay.
All right. In addition to teaching you to pass interviews and teaching you to know the operation, which is the real thing. You do some additional study on top of what we teach you here, and then you are now able to pass the AWS certification. And then on top of that, because it's really tough out there, the competition is high, you want to know something that your competitor, your colleagues, the colleagues that you'll be competing for the same position for. Not all of them, no, just something higher than. So you want to do DevOps, so you can tell your prospective employer, your recruiter, that it's not just being, it's not just being able to do all of these things. I can automate these things to happen so that what others can do in 3 weeks, I would help you automate it, and you don't even have to spend 5 minutes doing. Which employer will not be happy to employ somebody like that?
So does it come with using some of these coding language like Python or Ansible?
What did you mention? The second word?
Ansible.
Yes. DevOps comes with Ansible, yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's not really coding. Yeah, Python is programming.
Yes.
But the others are not really.
Okay.
They are more of scripting, but they are not so difficult to do.
Okay. All right. All right. That sounds good.
I have a question.
All right, Kingsley.
My name is Kingsley. Thank you. So I know why I joined this course in the first place is because, okay, I completed the AWS Solutions Architect. Not like I completed it, but I got to the middle of the section and I was just confused because there were lots of terminologies, infrastructure, networking, EAN, LAN, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I had to give up because I just strongly believe I didn't get a foundation. But I from the explanation you just gave now, so I think this is surely what I need. But there's another thing I'm looking at, because in one of those AWS courses, there was a place they brought out some sort of Python window or something like that. And they just, what demanded was just to edit a sort of a language. I did understand it at that time, but I just want to know the depth of the knowledge I need to have in Python to be able to, I know I would do this, I surely need to do the Linux, because in my organization, even my team, we work using all that. So, but getting to AWS, I just want to know the depth of Python. I need to know if I would have to start taking a course in Python, or maybe when I get there, I can be able to cross it and just know the basic, you know. So that's just sort of my fear, because I wouldn't want to abandon a course in the middle of the entire section. Yeah.
No, you will not abandon. No, you do not need Python in AWS. You do not need Python in AWS. However, there are different approaches by different people to resolving the same issue. So maybe your trainer, I mean, the past trainer was a developer, and therefore sorry?
Yes, he's a developer. He's from India.
Yeah. So maybe it's a developer and therefore approached situation from the developer's angle as a developer. So he uses the tool that he knows so well to solve problems. I'm not a developer. We're not programmers. We are solutions architects, and we depend purely on our understanding of Linux.
Okay.
All right. So our approach would not, I don't know Python. So it will not be, we don't need Python. We don't need Python. We don't need scripting. We don't need programming. So if that is your fear, no, it's no fear at all. It's there's no basis for that fear. However, 5 years, 7 years into solutions, into being a cloud solutions architect, at that point, not now, you may, because you'd have worked with developers a lot, you'd have worked with different members of your IT teams, you may have been expected to upgrade your knowledge of automation.
Okay.
And Ansible alone at that point, even though we are going to do it now, it's so simple. These are not, may not be enough. You may need to learn 1 or 2 additional scripting tools. In that case, Python would be an option. But if you still do not want to learn Python, you are scared of Python, there are other tools. So when you go to interviews, they don't ask you, do you know Python? What they ask you is, do you do automation? You say yes. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. What tools do you use for your automation? So somebody who knows Python will say, oh, I use Python, I use this. Somebody who knows like me, I'll say, I use Terraform and I use Ansible. These 2 tools by themselves, they are awesome, beautiful, great. Okay. Another person might say, okay, I use Chef, I use Poppy. Another person could say, I mean, different tools. So what we use just depends on our background, where we are coming from, and what we're able to, how we approach situations. All right. For this class specifically, we're not doing anything Python at all. Although we'll do some automation, we'll use tools that are really, really friendly, very friendly. YAML. Somebody mentioned Ansible. Yes, YAML file. I mean, by the time you are done with it, is that all? Is that all the playbook? This all? Just very, very simple. All right.
All
so
right.
no, you do not need Python.
Thank you.
You're
I have a
welcome.
question.
Who is that?
Ayeni.
Ayeni, okay, go on.
Yes, sir. I just want to have a more understanding about what you explained today concerning the Windows and the Linux OS. From what I understand, I don't know if I'm right, the Windows work with just a single LAN, while the Linux manage the 3, let's say we have a head office.
Multiple LANs working together.
Okay.
Yes, you are right. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
So that single LAN is what we refer to as corporate network.
Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
All right. So if I now ask you this question now, Ayeni, we have you're applying for this position. So in this branch office, we run the corporate network. However, we'll be posting you to our head office from where you'll be managing not just our branch office, but all branch offices within this state. All right. So what do you think from that brief interaction that the employer, the recruiter, expects you to know to be able to perform in that role?
Linux.
Correct. That is it. All right. Next person, Deji. Any other question? Yes.
So as a beginner, I just want to ask, is there anything like maybe handout someone can be reading after the
Yeah, there is handout. There is handout, but the training will be so detailed. What you should be looking at is not handout. You will be looking at the video over and over and over and practicing as you are watching the videos. Handout is yeah.
because
Handout will not help you.
I'm so curious. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why
you have handouts, but more important than handouts, you would have the videos that we work on together in class. And then when you do miss something, even while you watch the video, take a photo, take a snapshot of what you are not able to do, post it on the forum, and your trainer will be there to support you, to say, this is what you are doing wrong. And then just go back, correct it on your own machine, because it's practical, everything is practical. You correct it and it's working, and then you come back to the post and say, it worked. This was my mistake. So that's how you build this, from this little work here, little work there, you build your experiences, so that at the end of the training, you can now present yourself as somebody who has had 1 year at least of experience, because you can actually list what you can do. You can say, I did this, and you actually did it. Yes, we did it in class, and then you went back to your own machine and you did it and it worked. So you can claim it.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, one question from me.
Okay.
Are you gonna be giving us, like a project assignment that after every class, or?
We are going to be announcing the projects, the assignments in class, and we're going to be doing them together. So what is required thereafter is for you to go and practice those same project and assignment so that you can claim them.
Okay.
So there'll be no, yeah, maybe you have one or two, no, just one. One project that you go and do on your own, but most projects will be like, today you are a manager for this company, you are just resuming, and this is the assignment. So we'll read and agree that this is the assignment, everybody understand. Then we'll start work. You do this, you do this. What does number 2 say? Number 2 says, create the account for this person and make sure that the account is not able to do this, it's only able to do this. Then we'll go to work and we'll do it, we'll test it, we'll log it from the client, we'll try it. It's working, we got that. Then number 3. So we run through the projects like that. That's the approach. So it's not like theory where we say, go and do number 5, and it's practical where once we do them, we see them working and we know whether we have passed or not. Yes. Who else? Anybody, just speak. I see so many hands raised. And if you do not intend to raise your hand, you can. If you mistakenly put up your hand, you can put it down.
Hello, sir. The course you're doing now, that's the Windows Server Administration. Is it every Monday and Wednesdays for 1 month, or is it all through the week?
No, just twice a month. So it will be
twice a month?
Twice a week.
Okay.
It will be like the timetable said. I don't have the timetable now.
Okay, that's every Monday and Wednesdays.
Monday and Wednesdays, yes. Okay. Same time.
All right. Thank you. But we have to finish the Windows administration first before we can do the Linux.
Correct. Just one course at a time. Take one course, focus on it, know it well, and then your understanding of that course should be the driving force to want to take the next step.
All right. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so it's 7 o'clock. Let's take just a 5-minute break so I can use the restroom, and then we'll be right back to continue. Please put down your questions, and then let's answer more questions when we come back. This is being recorded for you. It will be posted once we are done with class. So what do I pause recording? Pause recording. Yes, pause recording. All right, see you in 5 minutes. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, so 11 of us, there are 2 trainers here. So 11 minus 2, 9. So we have 9 participants here, but I've only had like 4, maybe 5 payments. So I'm assuming that the rest of you wanted to see the class first before you make payment, right? Just to make sure that this is real. All right, so now that we have had this class and you have seen that it's real, I expect that if you want to continue with training, you would make payment, and then we'll now give you a link to the class proper. We'll not use this link the next time. This is just deliberately so because it's just the orientation. And then subsequently, I'm going to assign a trainer to you. I am the dean. I have the responsibility to make sure that you get quality service, you get value for your money. But this class will be assigned to Obafemi Adegoke, will be your primary trainer. So I'll be your trainer like the principal kind of, but he'll be your class teacher for Windows server administration. All right. So what happened the last time was the class that the trainer took the last time, we're supposed to start DevOps with that class, and I said, okay, hand over that class back to me. And the students were like, no, we are fine. It's not. So you are going to enjoy your trainer so much that even if I decide in future to say, no, give me Kingsley and give me Gabriel back, you are going to say, Mr. Aki, don't worry. We're enjoying our trainer like this. It's just fine. All right. So whether I deliver or whether any of my other 3 trainers deliver, is the same name, is the same quality. All right. So don't. Well, I'll be mainly on the forum to support. I mean, not necessarily support because he can do everything will help ourselves, but just as in the background, watching and seeing what's going on. So if there is any other support beyond classroom that you need, I would always be there to do it. All right. So Bafemi Adegoke is your trainer. All right. Bafemi, even though you are not seeing your students in video, can you just talk to them? I don't hear you.
All right, good evening, everyone. You're welcome on board I10 training. My name is Obafemi, as the faculty leader said, and I'll be your classroom trainer and attendant for the next 1 month. And I'm looking forward for us having a very sweet session, interactive and enlightened one. So yeah, you're welcome. Good to meet you all.
All right.
Good to meet you too.
Okay.
Good to meet
All right.
you.
So,
and just hoping you deliver. I'm a novice, I have so much interest in this class, and this probably will be my last hope in IT, because I've tried other places too, and I just feel like they are more concerned about the money. But so far, Mr. Aki has been teaching. I pretty much understand and grab everything. I like his style of teaching, and I just hope you will deliver just like it just did.
All right, so you wouldn't have any problem with the delivery. We have the understanding that all our classes, even in the past, they are hybrid classes. You have people with 0 computer science background and people with 10 years. And when they come to class, we deliver as though you have no experience at all. We take it from the basics, from the very bare minimum, and then we build up from that. And then because of the training we've had as well from the faculty lead, we are not allowed to move on until everyone confirms they have good understanding of what we just taught. So this is just to alleviate your fear. You wouldn't have to doubt if you will get all that you need to get support online and offline. Yeah, in the right place. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
yeah, and always remember that they are delivering on my behalf. So if you have any complaint, just don't leave it in the group so that nobody sees it. You have my direct contact from the group. So just forward to me, and then the trainers know that you have my direct contact. And then, what I can assure you, I mean, some of these people have like 15 years experience teaching. But just in case you need to let me have any feedback, not just Ben or be anybody can reach me through the same line that you made inquiry. All right. All right. So let's talk generally more before we let you. The idea was for us to do 1 hour generally, and then I get to meet you, we ask questions, everybody is happy, and then we'll end the introductory class, and then you can start the class proper with Obafemi. And that was the idea. If that still works, fine. Otherwise, we'll just continue to do introduction and then maybe start the class proper next week. But let's see how questions come in the next 10, 20 minutes. And then that would point us in the direction to go. Yeah, hands are still raised. Do you still have questions?
Yes, this
Okay.
is Deji. Thank you. I'm also a novice in IT. I mean, I'm completely new. I remember you talked about the wired network and the wireless network. In the case of a wired network, you use a switch to connect the devices. And the wireless network, you use access point. So what position would you place a router?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
In the
right.
place of the wireless network.
In both cases. Okay, because you asked, we'll get there. We'll get there and we'll explain that. But just because you asked, and like there are not many questions, so I can take that right away. Do you still see my diagram?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the position of router. So this network, this computer 1 is communicating locally within the same local area network to computer 3.
Okay.
So it will come here, and then the switch will find the IP address of the destination, and they say, oh, that one, I know where it is, and then it will route it. No, it will switch, not route. It will switch to that port and connect to computer 3. That way, computer 1 is now able to communicate with computer 3. Now, if computer 1 was going to communicate with computer 14 here, when it gets to this switch is going to look around and sniff all of the ports within it and say, I don't have this address. I don't know. It's not here. I don't know this thing. Let me, what's the word now? Let me escalate. So it's going to go through this port and say, give it to this man and say, I have a packet here. I have tried to deliver locally. It's not, I don't have the destination here. Will you check? Maybe sure. So this guy is the router. So basically the position it occupies is it stays at the gate to accept whatever is coming in from the outside world and then push whatever is coming in from the inside. So any packet leaving this network would have to pass through this gate. This gate is mounted by the router. It is the router that will take it and then check the destination address and then put it on the route. That's why it's called router. It will route it from route. Put it on the route that will now connect it to the destination. And then when it gets here, there's another gate here mounted by the route, another router. And then this router will say, yeah, where are you coming from? Who are you? Oh, okay, you are part of, you are coming in. You'll be allowed in, and then to give it to the switch. And then from the switch will now say, oh, this is our local farm, where are you going to? Then to now switch it specifically to. All right, this will be explained in details in networking, but just so that you know, this is the position of router. Does it answer your question?
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if I say your network infrastructure, that is the components, the things, the devices, the devices, the components, anything that would work together to make your network work, to make it feasible for you to create and manage a network. What would you, if I say give me one each, what would you mention, Gabriel? Mention 2 or 3 network infrastructure, or 2 or 3 components or devices that make up your network infrastructure. Anybody? Number 1.
The switch.
The switch is a network infrastructure. Yeah, correct. Yes.
Router.
Router is a network infrastructure. Yes.
Cable.
Cables, correct. Yes.
Server.
Server. How could you have forgotten server? Server is the main guy. Yeah. Server. Yes.
Can we say the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, in a sense, yes. Yes.
What about
You're looking at this one.
the access point?
Access point, yes.
A modem.
Modem, yes, even though we have not mentioned it here.
Computers.
Computers, yeah. When you mention server, the next thing I'm waiting for is computers. Yes. All right. The servers, your computers, your switches, your routers, correct. These are infrastructure. So now you have a clearer picture when I say cloud solutions architect. And I said the architect puts the infrastructure in place and interconnect all of them to set up the network that will take the application. All right, you understand that? How do you now do this in cloud? I mean, for on-premise, you can take a cable, take a switch, connect, you can, but what about cloud where these things are just, they are just icons, they are just there diagrammatically, they are not physical. How do you do that? That is what you are going to learn ultimately. And that's what's going to make you run solutions architect. But now, at least you have an idea what a cloud solution, a solutions architect, remove cloud, does in physical environment. The things that you just mentioned now, these are the things that it connects together to form a network and then go beyond all of those connections to actually install and configure your server operating systems on the server and then your client operating systems on the computers. It was awesome you mentioned computers distinct from the server. So server will run the server operating system, the computers will run client operating system. And when you have a network of a server and computers, what do you call that kind of network? What category of LAN is that?
What question is that, sir?
You have a LAN of server and computers because you mentioned as part of your infrastructure, server computers. When you have a server and then computers working with the server, what's that kind of LAN called?
Client server network.
Client server network, correct. Yeah. So what would be the difference between that kind of network and peer-to-peer?
I think it's security.
Security?
Yeah, that's the server.
Yes, it's security, but you didn't answer my question.
The client server is more secure than the peer-to-peer network.
That's not the answer to my question. Somebody was going to answer my question specifically.
The client server is mainly for corporate use, while
you forgot my question.
The
so the last question was, when you have a client server network is one that has a server and computers. All right, the clients, yeah, the computers, otherwise called clients. And I said, you said that kind of network is called client server network. Fine. I said, how does that differ from the peer-to-peer network? This network is just described as client server. So if you compare with peer-to-peer network, what is the difference?
Peer-to-peer is locally dominant in one one location, while client server is sort of external and
no. Client server is not external. It's the same thing as peer-to-peer.
The client server is on Windows 10, while the server operating system is on Windows 2016, right? Server.
Windows server.
Yeah, peer-to-peer network is no security. I think it's got to home. Why client server network security is got to corporate?
To be honest, all of your answers are correct. All of your contributions are correct.
Client server network, the server will be in charge of the network, while the peer-to-peer does not have anything in charge of the network.
Okay, now just give me a simple answer. You are making this question look complex.
Yeah, the difference is just the server.
The difference is the server. The difference is the server. That's just it.
Produce.
I know the problem is you are imagining that the question is hard, so to put in as many words as possible to make it. No, it's so simple. The difference is the server. The absence of server in the other one, that's just it. So I needed you to simplify the answer to that level, even though all those other contributions were also correct. It's so simple. The difference is on a peer-to-peer, the server will talk about earlier on, it's not present in peer-to-peer. So all, like the lady said, it means that all the computers on peer-to-peer are running client operating system. None of them is running a server operating system. And by the way, how do you know a server?
Because of the kind of operating system on it.
Okay, so a server runs a server operating system. That's just it. Yeah. It's not about the size of the computer or about the color of the computer or anything like that. It's just the operating system that it runs. All right, so I have two systems. Both systems run Windows 10 operating system. Which one is the server?
Yeah, both clients. None is the server.
None is the server, that's the answer. None is the server. Are you getting what are you getting this mental session?
I'm trying to get this.
So if we have two systems and both systems run client operating system, which one is the server? There's no server there, none is the server. All right, so I have two systems. System A runs, this specifically to Ion. System A runs Windows 10. System B runs Windows 2019 server.
All right, sir.
Which of these two systems, A or B, is the server?
Windows 2019.
I said I have two systems.
Okay.
Okay, system A runs Windows 10 operating system. System B runs Windows 10, 2019 server operating system. Which of these two computers is the server or is a server?
That's I think the second window, that's Windows 19.
Windows 19 is not a system. I have two systems, A and B. So the systems are A and B.
Okay.
So which of these two systems, A and B?
B.
B, yes. B. Why is B the correct answer?
Because it said the client or operating system doesn't have server.
Why is B the correct answer?
Oh, shit. Sir.
No, why did you pick? Was it a guess? It wasn't a guess now, you knew it. Why did you pick B as the correct answer?
No, because of what you wrote in the
what did I write? Just refresh.
Server operating system. When you wrote when 2016 server. That's why I chose it.
Yes. So this is the server because this is the one running the server operating system. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All right. So now to set up a local area network, I would go to the market, buy a server, buy my computers, buy switch, buy cables, what else? Maybe router. And then I'll do all of the connection. And then I'll have a physical network on which I can continue to set up my local area network. Is that correct or not?
Can you come again, sir?
Yes.
That's so straightforward now. There's nothing to come again. Yeah, that is correct. To set up a network, I go and buy my computers, I bring them in, I connect all of them using cables, connect them to a switch, and then I can now start to install my operating systems. whether it's going to be peer-to-peer or it's going to be client-server network, I install the appropriate and relevant operating systems. Is that not correct?
Okay, correct.
Yeah, it's correct.
All right.
Everyone agrees that that is correct, right?
It's correct.
Yes.
All right. All right. So in that case, I will say I have on-premise network. Do you know any other way by which I can also create that kind of network without going the route of going to the market, buying servers and all?
The cloud.
That's using the cloud.
Wirelessly.
Can you
Wireless.
Wireless, I still need to go to the market to buy my access point, buy the
It's in the
computers.
cloud.
It's in the cloud.
But you have not done cloud. The concept of cloud is there's a different name for it other than cloud.
As visualization.
Virtualization.
Yes. Virtualization is what they meant when they said cloud. Yeah, cloud is an application of virtualization, but the general term, because you actually to do virtualization on your own laptop without going to cloud. So you'll be able to do all of this from your laptop. That's the first course you're training, the first class. By the end of the first class, you will now have like 3 laptops. Your physical laptop plus at least two laptops inside your physical laptop. And these are the laptops you are going to use to form your network before you can practice these things, all these projects that we're talking about. Yes. So in addition to having physical systems, you can also have your network setups and running properly through the concept of virtualization. Cloud is one of the many applications of virtualization. Your own practical will be a different another one. All right, but yeah, copy. So I just used that to test how you followed what we went. All right, beautiful. So IT could be that simple. I mean, if it's been simple for you this far, IT could be that simple. Just bring your mind down to the level. Just explain it the way you see it, not what you already knew, or not. Don't look for big words, and then we'll build it from there until you come to the big words. By the time you build gradually to the big words, it's no longer a problem using those big words. All right. So what do we do now? Do we start something? Let's start. Let's start. Let's start class. So let me load my notes. Let me share the screen. Share. Share screen. All right. So yeah. I have so many things open. Give me 1 second. Let me close my personal documents. Yes. And then so this is Windows, right? So let me load my Windows manual. Windows. All right, so then share. Where's share? Any more questions? People still raising hands?
So I have a question.
All right.
In terms of the sort of computer to use, you did mention one time it shouldn't be Apple or sorry, it shouldn't run on OS or Windows.
No, it can be Apple. Apple is okay.
Okay.
So it's not about Apple would do. It should be about how much resources should you have in your computer to support what you're about to do.
Okay.
In that case, 8 gig minimum.
Okay.
8 gig minimum will do. 16 gig even better. But if you already have 8 gig, but if you have 4 gig, it's going to be kind of slow. You might not be able to do all the projects. Not completely useless, but
How do we know? How do we know the gigs?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so to know the gig, you can gain mine. Okay, let me see. Okay, right. Can you see my right click?
Yes.
And then you say, okay, let's go to this PC. This PC, right click this PC, and you say properties. And then you see that, you see it here, 32 gig. That's my own. So your own will tell you 416 or 8.
Okay. You see.
This PC, right click properties. Install RAM. And then it tells you, this is called i7, which is a very fast one. So, but don't worry about it. So what is your RAM space? I thought you were checking.
Yeah, I'm checking. I'm seeing like 598 megabytes MB. Is the size, right? Is it the size from this?
Did you right click my PC?
This PC, I right clicked on this PC.
And then take properties.
Properties, yes. And I'm seeing size 597 megabytes.
There are many things. Did you check the one on that RAM? Can you see this RAM? Installed RAM.
Let me come back. Let me come back to the video. Where's my
installed RAM?
Okay, installed RAM. Okay. See. No, I'm not saying installed RAM.
What operating system?
I don't know. I know it's written HP Pavilion 360. This operating system I'm using.
You know your operating system from here. When you click here, does it show Windows?
Okay, let me see.
Anyway, these are little issues. Just take a photo of, take a screen, post it on the group, and then we'll be able to help you find what you are looking for.
All right.
Tell me, what did you? Are you ready to do 1.5 hours of class?
Yes, sir.
You are ready, okay? Let me just leave you instead of starting now and then all of a sudden you are taking over and then. So let me leave you to take class. All right.
Okay,
so post the link on the group.
All right, sir.
Right now. And then I'll end this meeting and then they will click that link on the group and then they will join you. And then you start your training. Did you still have a question before we let you go?
So are we going to get these same videos after the class is done?
Yeah, this video, before you finish class, this video will be waiting for you in the group.
Okay.
And then for people who have not made payment, all of this is just to show you that it's real. You will not have access to next class. But for the 4 or 5 persons that have made, in fact, what you do, because I may have even lost, maybe you have all made, maybe I didn't, maybe I've eaten the money, I don't even realize that. So what we'll do is, please, you remember, you see that you have my private number that you use to make inquiry. Please write your name and your email address because the videos will be shared privately after now. Okay. We need your email address to send you the videos. It's not for public. So your name, the email address, and the amount paid. Those 3 things in 3 columns. Name, email address, amount paid. Please. So send that to me just in case I forgot that you paid or that you then I'll be able to upgrade the list, and then I'll make that list available to your trainer, and that is the list you will use to allow you into class. So this Wednesday, the next class will be Monday after.
Should we send it directly to you, or our name and email directly to you, or just put it in the class? I mean, in the WhatsApp.
Directly to me.
All right, sir.
You don't want the public to see your email on the group.
Mr. Akin, can you please drop us the phone number so that we can know what to, for people like me that have no payment, so I can.
Are you in the group?
The WhatsApp group. Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll just announce what I'm saying here now on the WhatsApp group so you know what I mean.
Okay.
So since I'm already on the WhatsApp group, once you just click my name there, it will take you to my private chat and then you can leave your message. All right, guys, so you still have 1.5 hours to go. No time, even if it's just 30 minutes of quality training, you don't want to waste the whole of today. So I'm gonna let you go now so that you can join Femi by clicking the other link. Femi, are you ready with the link on the group? Huh?
Yes, it's up. I've posted it.
All right, guys. I might not see you until again but I'll be in the group always until after Femi is done with you.
Hello, sir. Before you go,
Yeah.
I have 8 gig. Is it okay?
Yeah, 8 gig. 8 gig is very fine.
And do we need a Linux computer?
No, you don't.
All right. Thank you.
Your trainer is going to set up a new computer for you on your 8 gig.
I can't see that link at all.
All right.
Please, can you drop the link again, please?
So also for Apple, there is a confusion here. I saw the memory is 8 gig, but then there is something that says Macintosh 413 gig. So I don't know if that's enough.
That is the problem. I don't use Apple, so I cannot see what you are talking about. But don't worry, we'll manage. Your trainer would take a photo of what you have, put it there. But you shouldn't have problem as long as you have 8 gig.
Okay.
The lady was just trying to clarify that her system is powerful enough. For Apple, you're already overpowerful, so no problem. You're even more powerful than the rest of us. All right, guys, let me let you go so you can learn something today.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, then. See you in the group.
Please, can you drop the link again? I don't have it.
Femi, put
It's on the
link
WhatsApp page.
On the WhatsApp group.
I was waiting for it right here. Please, can you drop it right here, please? Let me just pick it up.
You can't drop it here now. Are you a member? Are you in the WhatsApp group?
What I can see.
Gabriel, we said that like 15 times today. Are you in the WhatsApp group, Gabriel?
Yes, I am the WhatsApp group.
Then go there and pick it and click from there.
Okay, thank you.
Can't drop it here. All right, bye everyone.